Hey guys, it's Tommy Jordan. I'm signing in today from the United Kingdom. I'm actually in Newcastle, 2 hours north of London. I want to spend a few minutes today going over what we're trying to do with Project Phoenix and why. Libya just went through a major civil war, something most of us in our lifetimes and our comfy homes will never actually be able to relate to. We think we can, but you really can't. You can't imagine what it's like to see tanks rolling down the street past your homes, to see guys with, shoulder-fired rockets firing off in the distance, to hear machine gun fire run through your neighborhood. We have it bad in the States sometimes in some places. We have high crime. It's not the same. A war and crime are not the same. So Libya's come out the other side of this war, and they still have their problems. They still have things they're trying to work through, but far and large, they're making huge strides towards democratic government, towards improving their educational system, towards improving every aspect of their lives. The Libyan government made it clear to us, and by us I mean myself and a few partners, about a half a year ago, back in February of this year, what they wanted to do, and that truthfully Libya has a lot of cash reserves laying around. The former regime just sat on or used for their own purposes, and Libya actually came out and said, look, we want to invest a huge chunk of this in our kids. How can we do it? Can you help us do it? They'll figure it out on their own, but they want to move on it now, and that's awesome. That is to be supported. We tossed project after project around for half a year. We made inroads into one project and one way of going about this, and then we would get some political issue would come up and bring it to a halt, or people in power would change too fast for us to be able to make any headway. So politics got in the way, like it always does. What we have now is a new plan, a new idea, and most importantly, an apolitical idea. This is not political. There are no politics here. There are people, myself, lots like me, that want to just do what we can to help this country. So I want to address why. Why Libya? Why now? Why not last year, 5 years ago? Why not 2 years down the road? Why does it need to be done now? And why are you in such a rush to get it done? Well, I answered the first part of that. I'm in such a rush. We're in such a rush because right now Libya has expressed a desire to help their kids. And there is no time too soon to start doing that. These kids that are coming through school right now, in 20 years, they're going to run that country. What they learn today, their ability to learn and absorb knowledge and to understand the world around them, is going to shape how they interact with that world when they graduate, when they become 18, 20, when they either leave to go to university somewhere or stay to rebuild their country. What they learn now matters. I mean, what kids learn at this age, it's the most important age of their lives. You craft who you are, who your personality is during that time of your life. That's what childhood's all about. These kids have a shot at a better one through education. We want to be part of that. So I'm going to pull a few facts just because people like facts and facts are important. First off, you have to understand, in the US or the UK, you can go on Google and pull up a map and say, show me all the schools in this town or this state. I want to decide where my kids go to school. I want to evaluate a new school zone. That doesn't exist there. In fact, prior to 2011, they couldn't even tell you where all the schools were. There's no city map that says go to school here. If you're in this age group, you go to school here. There are teachers that are trying to teach. There are places to do it, and there are students. There's nothing necessarily connecting those three together. There is no giant educational system like we have here. The MOE, Ministry of Education, is in charge of educating Libya's children. Like every political piece of that government, they got shredded during the latest war too. So they worked very hard with United Nations and with UNICEF to make progress. And one of the big things they did was they actually went out with GPSs and located these schools and said, okay, here's a school, save it on a map, and here's the kind of school it is, and here's the age group it is, and here's the condition at this school. So bear with me here because I don't have all these facts in my head, but I'm going to give you a few highlights from that report. Basically, there are 4,800 schools in Libya, in the whole country. We probably have more than that in my state back home. I don't actually know for sure, but it's not a lot. I mean, there's 5 in my town, and I live in a small town. So there are almost 5,000 schools across this country. Hopefully soon to be more. Libya has a few great things going for it. One, it has about a 5-to-1 student to teacher ratio. That's awesome. We'd love to have that. You'd love to have a classroom where there was 1 teacher for every 5 people. Where we are, and probably here in the UK, there are 20-to-1, 30-to-1. Nobody wants to teach because teaching doesn't pay. I mean, that's the truth of it. It's a horribly low-paying job, and teachers should make more. But a lot of the people that teach in Libya don't even get paid. They teach because it's what they want to do. It's what they feel in their life they need to do to help better their country, themselves, their children. So we have this amazing opportunity to work in a place where there are 5 students for every 1 teacher. That's pretty cool. If these teachers had the right tools, they could make a really big impact. Really big. I mean, just imagine that small ratio and how much more effective they could be than we can over in the States. Of those 4,800 schools that were GPS located and recorded and tracked, over 40% of them had significant damage during the war. It's almost half. So out of 4,800, let's say 2,200 were significantly damaged during the war. You can see pictures on our blog. By damaged, I mean bombed out. There's mortar holes through walls. There's just tracings of machine gun fire, down classrooms. They're in horrible shape. Few other facts you might want to know. In 15% of the schools, think about that, 15%, so that's about 480 would be 10%, about 600 schools. More than 90 children share 1 toilet. 1. Not 1 bathroom, 1 toilet. That's boys and girls jointly. There are no boys' rooms and girls' rooms. There's 1 toilet in that entire school. 90 kids use it. Kind of scary. 16% of the schools don't have soap to give the kids to wash their hands at all. There's none. 1 in 4 reported not even having access to drinking water. So 4,800 schools, 1,200 of them, they don't even have water to drink. Let's forget clean water, just water, period. They don't have any. There's a lot of opportunity there. Another thing Libya doesn't have is school books. They have an approved curriculum. They actually do have a curriculum that is approved for every age group, about 6 to 15, and then the secondary schools from 16, 17, and 18. So they know what to teach. They just can't teach it because they don't have the books to do it. They don't have the technology to do it. Project Phoenix, our goal was to change that. Most of you know by now, what we're working on is a mobile concept. It's a 40-foot container school built out of a solid steel Conex container. 40 feet long, 9.5 feet tall, and the outside and 8 feet wide. And when we're done insulating and painting and cleaning and putting the walls in and the lights in and the air conditioning system in and the generator in, the room has about an 8-foot ceiling. It's about 7 foot 8 inches wide. It's not very wide, but it's very long. The classroom section is about 25, 26 feet. That's a lot of space. We also did it that way because that's a space that can easily be air conditioned. We've got air conditioning in our schools, or at least in the design of our schools. I shouldn't say our schools yet because we haven't built the first one, but that's what we're trying to do. Our schools are powered 3 ways. We have 3 ways to generate electricity for these schools. Solar. 1, We generate about 60 watts using our current panel configuration. That's a lot of electricity. You figure your air conditioner at home in the US uses about 20 watts, or 120 amp breaker. Mine does, at least. My entire computer shop runs on another 20 amp breaker, and everything in my carpentry shop runs on a third 20 amp breaker. I could power everything I need to run my entire business off this one solar panel configuration. That's a lot of juice. Cool thing is, these schools don't need that much juice. We're actually creating more than they need. Maybe we'll scale it down some, so we're producing a little bit less. Maybe we'll find other uses for the energy. But the research that's gone into it, and the guys that have helped put this together, have gone for a all-out approach to, let's see what we can do. The secondary power system is diesel. We have a Yanmar 5.5 kilowatt diesel generator that will run on just about anything. It's designed to run on the nastiest fuel that you can get. You can pour kerosene in this thing, lamp oil, wherever you can get your hands on. Fuel's actually not hard to get in Libya. Diesel is very cheap. It's about 15 Libyan dinar per liter. Our fuel tanks on our rigs are 100 US gallons, so that equates to $56, fills an entire tank. That's a lot of fuel. 100 gallons doesn't really take us very far in the States. 100 gallons of fuel in the US would run us right now, well, 380 bucks. In Libya, it costs us $56. Our generator burns under maximum load. If we were to drain all 5.5 kilowatts out of this thing as hard as it could push under maximum burn, it burns 0.34 gallons an hour. That means with a 100-gallon fuel tank, if we were to burn this thing for, let's say, 12 hours a day, sunrise to sunset, and run the air conditioner, the lights, run the tablets, provide some auxiliary power for fans maybe, or for computers or routers or printers or switches, under maximum burn, I could run this thing for 24.5 days on one tank of fuel for 50 bucks. That's pretty awesome. Less than, I think it comes out to about $1.86 a day. So there's diesel power. We have solar power, more than we actually need. We have diesel power, more than we actually need. Pretty neat, huh? We also have what's called a shore power connection, which means there's a transfer switch in there that you walk in, you flip the switch, and when you flip that switch, there's a receptacle in this trailer. So if we pull up into a town or village or a government location that has power, we can actually pick this entire portable container up with a crane or a big forklift, drive our tractor trailer out from underneath of it. That's why it sits on a container, not on a trailer. The whole container sits on a trailer, so it's two pieces. So if we get the funding for it and we need to put this one school in this one place permanently, a crane or a forklift picks our container up, our rig drives out from under it, and the container sits back down on the ground or a concrete foundation or wherever, and it's now a permanent school. I can then take that school and plug it into shore power or to a line run the utility company, and it's a permanent building. It's steel. It's not going to rust. It's not going to, well, I mean, sure, it'll rust over a period of 30, 40 years, but these things are strong. These containers are incredibly strong. They'll last decades. All of our containers have spare parts built in, panels, connectors, things to fix panels, things to fix generators, tools to fix the generators. All the major supplies that we expect to need to assemble, to build, to repair these machines are actually carried on board the container in a locked room all the time. There's a lot to tell you, and I'm not going to go into all the details because I have 3D CAD drawings being designed now that will kind of show you this. But yes, we've taken into account things like air circulation, people being able to not be locked inside these containers. Yes, all the humane and safety issues that go along with something like this are being addressed, and they're in our current designs. Libya's got about 2,000 schools that are damaged. What if we go over there with 2,000 mobile schools and just drop them off with a 5-to-1 student teacher ratio and about 1 million students? You could fit 15 students inside one of these classrooms comfortably. More than that, and it's not a comfortable place to teach, but it's still 15 students is a lot. 2 chairs across, 25, 30 feet deep. That's plenty of room. It's air conditioned. One of our engineers actually has an idea, and I'm kind of letting the cat out of the bag here, but it's a neat concept. I never thought of it, but they feel comfortable. They can do it. They want to work on an engineering system to capture the condensation from the air conditioner that's generated all day long, because ACs produce sweat, and that sweat is in the form of water. And of course, it drips off your air conditioner and it goes to waste. They want to work on a way to capture that sweat condensation, UV purify it, maybe turn around and run it through a chiller and be able to produce actual drinking water from the air. I mean, literally building it from the air. We're going to take moisture out of the air, turn it into something that you can drink. It's actually a really fairly affordable add-on to the trailer design. We've chosen not to do it in our phase 1 prototype because, quite frankly, the first goal is to get these things in the desert, to get them in front of students, to put 1 or 2 in the field. Let's test it. Let's work the bugs out, because there's going to be some. Don't care how well you plan, we're going to have forgot something. I'm going to get over there and go, whoops, dang. I'm going to call Chad in Texas and go, hey, we never thought about this. Can you get on that? And he's going to go, sure, man, not a problem. And they have engineers back there doing just that right now. Even though we kind of settled on our first prototype, our engineers are still working on tweaking ideas, improving ideas. We're working with a couple publishing companies now to get technology-based curriculums to put inside these trailers, which is the original reason we wanted power anyway. So, like, for example, I have an iPad here. I can take this iPad and turn around, and on it will be all the apps a student needs. He'll have math. He'll just click the button and the math app pops up. And most of these apps have already been coded in Arabic, in their proper age groups for the curriculum. We're trying to work with the publishing firms to get these programs. Then we're going to go work with people like Google, Apple, Samsung, whomever wants to work with us, and hopefully get a locked-in discount on a certain tablet that we can use in these schools. We want tablets because they're low power, they're quick to charge, they take very little electricity to run, and they last a long time. This lasts all day long on one charge, literally all day long on full use. My laptop, on the other hand, can run 4, 5, 6 hours. Well, I could teach 2 or 3 or 4 classes on one iPad battery or Android battery. So you know, there's a lot of technology going into this. We're also going to have hardback curriculums, an actual book. You'll be able to step in this schoolroom. Down the left side is a floor-to-ceiling bookcase, and there is 4th grade Arabic and 4th grade math and 4th grade social studies and 4th grade science. And then there's 5th grade over here and 6th grade and 7th grade. So whatever school we're at that day, we can have curriculum. Not a lot of curriculum. I'm not going to be able to fit 500, students' books in here, but that's okay. They don't have schools that big anyway. Your average school can be 6 students to maybe 20, 25. And if they do have 25 students, it's not 25 high schoolers. It's 25 students from like age 7 to age 17. So we can have a minor quantity of each curriculum and still provide something these students would love to have. Man, they would love to be able to have a math book and actually open it. And the teacher would love to be able to go, wow, I actually have the teaching book. I don't have to, all the time these teachers are volunteering, they don't have to sit around now and write their own test. There's one that's done for them. They can actually take the teacher's version of this book and go along and teach these students. They can't do that now. Even a paper book. At home, we have tablets, smartphones, PDAs, laptops, digital teaching, e-learning. These guys don't have pen and paper, y'all. I'm not exaggerating. They don't. We're just as a side note, we're working with a group of teachers in Libya that collectively wish they could do more. I mean, a lot of these teachers are volunteer, low pay or no pay. We're working with them to figure out exactly what they need, exactly where they're lacking, and as many plugs as we can fill, we're going to. Education is key. We have to do that through technology and hard copy. Those are our big goals. and those we've got a way to achieve. The next thing was how do we make the classroom a nice place to be? Air conditioning. There's a great idea. It's 145 degrees over there. I've been there when it's been over 157. You literally can boil an egg on the hood of a truck, because we did it. I used to work over there, and it was kind of a joke. You crack the egg on the front of our white Toyota in the desert sun, and in 3 minutes you can eat that thing. It's cooked. These kids go to school in that every day. Let's give them some air conditioning. Like the engineer said, let's come up with a way to make water. I mean, they're saying they can make about 4 gallons a day per trailer. That's pretty cool. Worst come to worst, let's just find a way to refrigerate water and buy it. Gas is so cheap for these things that we actually can just carry water, be able to carry it to the schools. So this mobile school is going to drive around the community. It could be a town, it could be a region, it could be Tripoli, it could be to Misrata, to Sirte, wherever. It could go a variety of places, but they'll go spend a couple days, let's say Monday and Tuesday in the first town. Then they go spend Wednesday and Thursday in the next town, the next schools. And the next week they could come back and they do it again. So no, we can't provide an everyday, all-day solution for these students. But that solution that they still need to have is going to take 5 to 10 years. We know because we run the numbers. That was our first goal, to do that, to provide that solution. It's going to cost over $1 billion. It's going to take most of a decade. This solution, we can start educating kids. I told you today's what, August 20th. Truly, by, let's say, December 1st, with this project, and I mean of this year, we could have 3, 5 maybe schools in the desert teaching kids. They have about 750,000 students. If we can start grabbing them 15 or 20 at a time and providing them access to education, bringing the education to them, making it mobile, making it able to visit more than one community, that's awesome, and it's cheap. Is it free? No, it can't be. A lot of companies have given their time. DEI Industrial, Lightworks Middle East, Worldwide CAD, my company, Twisted Networks. I've been working on this for about 6 months. My partner, Dr. Jillian, she's a professor at Newcastle upon Tyne University in the UK. The university has supported her. She supported us, all again free of charge. There's been a lot of free stuff done, and a lot of free research and time spent, hundreds of thousands of billable hours that will never see an invoice. This time will never be billed. These people aren't going to go back retroactively and give us a bill once we get funding. They're not working on the premise of, let's do this for free now, but when you get paid, you better cut the check. No, this is all free. They've done this. They gave us this time. What we need now is the funding to go ahead with it. Probably right now. And I hate to specify a figure because I hate being locked into something and have to go do this entire video again later if it changes. But right now, we're looking at about $65,000 US to build one of these things, which is a lot higher than I actually wanted in the beginning. About 15,000 of that is solar. So we may cut, if we cut 2/3 of our solar out, that bill can drop by 10 grand. Now we're at 55,000. Maybe we do go with a little less fuel and a smaller tank. Quite frankly, I don't think that particular corner is worth trying to cut. Too little that value for the small amount of dollars that we'd save. Because one of the things I truly like about this, it is a mobile aid station as well. If we were to pull up to a school that, let's say the school itself basically functions. The school has 5 classrooms, and it's 2 stories, and it just doesn't have power. Well, hey, for 2 days a week or so, or if it's a big school that serves a whole community, you know what we'll do? We'll bring one of these things over here for a while and leave it. And we'll rewire your school building's power into our rig, couple it up, turn it on, we'll power the school. 5.5 kilowatts, I can power a lot of stuff with that. I can run lights in classrooms. I can run some fans. We actually have a cooled room in our trailer that you can teach in. So you can come down and use our technical library and have classes on tablets and use technology. And then while one class is doing that, hey, take all these books here on the back shelves, take these books, Go upstairs and teach math and science and social studies and history and Arabic. Go do that. That's what we're trying to do. Okay? That's expensive. Like I said, currently it's going to be about 65 grand. But being able to provide power is awesome. Being able to actually flip our generator and solar systems and push power to a community, to a small hospital, that's pretty neat. I'm very excited about that particular part. But to get back on point, 65 grand to build one right now. It's because it's called a one-off build, which means we have to buy everything one time. I need one container, one generator, one set of desks, one set of this, one set of that. That's expensive. It's expensive to ship, it's expensive in time and materials. If I were building 5 of these things, those costs start to drop significantly. If I was building 25, I go to Yanmar and say, hey guys, I need 25 generators. Well, they knock $500 a piece off. They'll do that, believe me, they'll do that in a second. We've got people overseas that are looking at ways to actually build the container, maybe in Jordan. We have a lot of support coming out of Jordan and Dubai and the UK. Jordan is close enough to Libya to drive the container from one country to the other. That's pretty cool. It's faster. So we can actually build a school. Let's say the school we start on Tuesday. By Thursday, it could be in Libya teaching. If we do it in the US, we build it here, we put it on a boat in Houston, Texas, and it has to travel the entire ocean to the port of Tripoli. And it's got to clear customs back. The trip takes a month to a month and a half, depending on the seas. Customs can take a day, it can take 3 months. I've had things get stuck in customs as long as three months in the port of Tripoli. So imagine if we could build this thing and just drive it across the desert sand to Libya and fire it up. UNICEF is hopefully working with us on this. I said their name now, and I shouldn't have put them under the gun, but they have shown a lot of interest in this project. They're looking at providing funding ongoing because we've found a way to do something they can't do that they want to do. They want to help students. They're the ones that paid for this survey that took 2 years. They're the ones that have tent schools now in Libya and the rest of the world. They do this all over the world because we can do it so cost efficient and a mobile platform that's reliable and rugged and dependable and reusable. They're very excited about the opportunity to help. Maybe, cross your fingers, they're going to help give us some funding. That would be awesome. I'm actually in the UK right now to meet with them to see about that. And that's the whole purpose of our trip here. So I've talked for 28 minutes, which is actually longer than you actually get in a full TV show. If you're still there, thank you for paying attention this long. We do have a charity over here in the UK that's allowing us to use their accounts to handle tax-free donations. So if you want to write a tax-deductible donation, we have the ability now to do that. That's awesome. Ask me how. It'll be on the 8minutesoffame.com/Phoenix site. You can go there and find out more about it. It's not there right now, but I'll have it there by the end of the week or the other day possibly. But again, right now, if you just want to, if you can donate, if your company can donate, this is what it's going for. Okay, this is what your funding is going to be used for. It's not going to be cheap. There are costs associated along with this. It costs about $1,500 for some of the paperwork in the U.S. Every time we have to hop on a plane and fly across the world, that's $2,000. I mean, you could burn up $25,000 just flying one team across the U.S. one time, there and back. It's 20 grand gone. So don't think $20,000 is going to go a long way. I'm hoping to be able to work the container and school cost down to a figure of somewhere in the $35,000 to $40,000 range each. If I can do that, you can buy. I can build a mobile school that'll teach 15 kids and give them all the tools to do it and all the books to do it and make power and have air conditioning for less than you can buy a small car for. So that's the goal. Um, that's what we're trying to do. So be part of it, and have a good day, y'all.